You're welcome to ask questions like in the, any other masterclass. Thank you.
Thank you. I just wanted to see if any, I see one flute, but do we have more students with instruments? Because we can get them to play.
Yeah, we have bass. We have we have 4 violins.
Okay, so they have their instruments with them?
יש לכם כלים פה, כינורות? וכולי, כן, they have it.
Okay,
כינורות, יש לכם? Do you have your instruments? Yeah. Okay, later on you're going to use them. Okay? Nice, Robert.
Maybe there's one. Are you going to do any food?
See you tomorrow. No. Thank you very much. So, I've been doing this class for a couple of years now in various places around the world, and I'm really happy to do it here at Tefen. And really, the class is geared toward young musicians and not so young musicians who have never improvised before. And a lot of what we're doing looks like, obviously, it's a ton of fun. Number one, it's really a lot of fun. Number two, it's really a lot of work. And there's a lot of individual work that goes into getting together what we can do.
אז הארווי אומר שהם המון שנים כבר עושים, וזה נראה שזה נורא כיף, והם באמת מאוד מאוד נהנים, ומצד שני יש המון עבודה מאחורי זה. מה שדיברנו גם בכיתה הקודמת, הם גם כן מתאמנים, זה לא הכל מומצא.
So there are many layers to what we're doing, and many things to think about when you are playing music, when you're playing with people that there's no notes, there's no music in front of you.
יש המון דברים שצריך לחשוב עליהם, והמון שכבות, בעיקר כשאין תווים מולם. בעצם כאילו הכל בעל פה, והם שלושה, והם צריכים מאוד להקשיב ולהיות ביחד.
And in addition, I mean, we're lucky to have Ben playing the cajon for us, which is what this is called. Bravo, Ben. But a lot of times we'll play with just vibes and guitar, and so the first thing that we really want to understand about what we're playing with one another is the rhythm.
הדבר הראשון שהם רוצים להבין או לסדר זה את הצד הקצבי. טניה דיברה לא מעט בכיתת אומן הקודמת מה קורה כשיש קצב.
So what we all practice, all of us that try to be jazz musicians, what we all practice is sounding good by ourselves. So if we can sound good by ourselves and we're playing with other good musicians, then the fun and the quality grows exponentially.
דבר ראשון, אם כל אחד דואג לעצמו שהוא נשמע טוב ומנגן טוב, על אחת כמה וכמה שהם שלושה וזה גדל ומנגנים ביחד.
The repertoire that we're using, the repertoire that we study and that we try to improve upon is based on what is called the American Songbook.
היצירות או הרפרטואר בנוי על American Songbook, ספר שירים אמריקאי.
What that consists of is about 10,000 songs that were written between the early 1930s and the mid-1970s.
10,000 שירים התחיל בשנות ה-30 ואילך. Previous century, right. Some of us are more than a century old, so the previous century. So there are about 10,000 songs written. Obviously, we're not going to learn 10,000 songs. So we pick ones that have interesting melodies and interesting harmonies, and in a lot of cases, interesting lyrics. הם בוחרים את השירים שיש להם את המלודיה, את המנגינה היפה, את ההרמוניה, את הליווי ההרמוני מעניין, וגם מחפשים בין השירים, כי אי אפשר לבחור את כולם, עם המילים, עם הטקסט המעניין.
And since we don't have a singer, we'll ignore the lyrics.
I can see.
You know the song?
Which one?
Which one?
Well, the key is not right for me.
Yeah.
Something's wrong. It's okay.
And so the first song that we played for you is a song that was written in the late 1960s by a very famous American composer, Henry Mancini. Most of you know him by So he's the composer of this song called Days of Wine and Roses. And it's a very interesting melody. It has very interesting harmony. And what we practice first and foremost is getting the listener, whether they're musicians or not, to feel good about listening to the melody.
אוקיי? הבנתם שהם ינגנו יצירה מאת מנסיני, מי שכתב את הפנתר הוורוד, אבל דבר ראשון,
כשהם בוחרים איזושהי יצירה או איזה, הם באמת חושבים על הצד שלהם, אבל גם על הצד של הקהל, שהם יאהבו את המנגינה ותהיה מנגינה מדליקה.
And that's a lot harder than one might think, because if I'm just by myself, I don't have any other players with me. If I can play just the melody only and have people enjoy it, then I'm more than halfway there. If I play it out of time and the audience isn't sure what they're listening to, then it's not a very successful venture. So I'm going to play the melody two ways. I'm going to play it as best I can, and if I play it properly, some of you in the audience are going to pat your foot or tap your, or, you know, do this, because I'm going to set the rhythmic idea of the melody up to where what we use a term called swing. Swing is a very arbitrary term, but I'm going to try to make you feel the swing from just the melody of me playing.
בעצם מה שהרווי אומר, אם הוא מנגן נכון את התחושה הקצבית, אז אנחנו נרצה לעשות. Now, I have to warn you, Israelis are doing 1 and 3.
No, that's okay. It doesn't matter.
There is a death penalty.
Yes, I know. ואם הוא מנגן את זה מדליק, אז כולנו בא לנו לעשות.
But they don't have to stop. They just have to maybe do this or feel it.
Yes.
Okay, so here's Days of Wine and Roses, how I would interpret it in a good sense. There's no bass player. Hopefully you could feel comfortable with that. Here I'm going to play it where you might say, I guess that's okay, but I'm not sure. So this is an unswinging interpretation of Days of Wine and Roses. So what's happening there? Like everyone just, what is that? What is that? I don't even know what it is. Okay? But it's harder than you think it's harder than one thinks to play a melody without any harmony or any background to it and make it sound good. If you can do that, and that's something that we work on as musicians, then once something is added, it feels even better.
זה מאוד קשה לנגן מנגינה בלי כלי מלווה. כלומר, בלי הרמוניה, או בלי בס, או בלי גיטרה, או בלי פסנתר. אבל ברגע שזה קורה, אז זה... אז זה even better, כלומר, זה הרבה יותר טוב.
זה לא רק מה שהוא אמר.
אבל if you need bass, we have bass here.
No, we don't need it.
הוא דיבר על זה שהוא צריך להיות עם התחושה הקצבית, ואז אם יש תוספת, זה עושה את זה הרבה יותר.
מה?
You understand.
So the other aspect of this song is there's this melody, but underneath the melody is a harmony. And so I not only have to learn the melody, I also have to learn the harmony underneath it. In this case, there's some really interesting chords that Henry Mancini wrote. There's a chord that sounds like this. There's a chord that sounds like this. There's a chord that sounds like this. tones that clash with one another against the melody. So once I understand the melody and the harmony, then I can accompany myself. Again, I'm trying to sound good by myself before I play with other musicians. So that I can then add an extra component to it without having a bass player, without having a guitar player. So if I want to play this music, if I want to play jazz, which is really, as far as I'm concerned, the height of music making, when you can get together with friends and there's no music here, everything's memorized, and you know, we've played this tune together a number of times, but it never sounded like this. Partly because we added Ben, and partly because it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon or something. So it just depends on how one feels. So once I learn the melody and I learn the harmony, then I've got to figure out what would I use. I can play the melody over and over again, but it's not as interesting as if I play the melody and then improvise on the melody. So in order for me to improvise, I have to know the chords underneath, and I have to know what scales fit against the chords.
זה לא מספיק לדעת את המלודיה ולא מספיק לדעת את ההרמוניה, אפשר פשוט לנגן את המנגינה, אבל מה שמדליק באמת זה לאלתר על המנגינה. אוקיי, ואז זה נפתח לעוד מקומות וקוראים כל מיני דברים, כמובן שהכל גם בנוי על הרבה תחושה אישית. והרווי אמר עכשיו 2 בצהריים, אנחנו מנגנים בצורה, ובערב הם ינגנו בצורה אחרת, באופי שונה, בקצרה.
So if I play just an outline of the chords and don't play the melody at all, you'll still be able to hear the melody because it kind of fits the chords. So it might sound like this. So that you feel the harmonic flow, you feel the rhythmic flow, and you feel the melodic flow, even though I did not play the melody. Okay? So those are the levels. And if a student came and said, I want to learn how to play jazz, whether it's violin or trumpet or saxophone or piano or guitar, generally I would say take 6 months out of your life and learn melodies, and learn how to play melodies beautifully. This is an oral tradition, jazz, so we listen to the great jazz singers, Frank Sinatra, Billie Holiday, Sarah Vaughan. They interpreted the American songbook in the most artful way.
אז הרבה פעמים כשתלמידים באים לבקש ללמוד ג'אז, לא משנה באיזה כלי, הוא אומר, תעשו הפסקה רגע בחיים ופשוט תלמדו המון מנגינות. 0.5 שנה פשוט תלמדו דבר ראשון המנגינות, והרבה מזה זה גם להקשיב. להקשיב למוסיקה, למבצעים אמריקאים בעיקר, ולשמוע איך הם עשו את זה, איך הם עשו את האינטרפרטציה שלהם לשירים האמריקאים.
And then, you know, take 6 months or so and learn melodies. Take another 6 months and learn harmony. Take another 6. I mean, there's just so many layers that's happening here, because what we want to do is have a conversation, and we want to get this language of jazz really in our kishkas so that we can express ourselves. The other thing I want to talk about before I get people up to play is that there's essentially 2 types of rhythmic flow in jazz. One is a swinging feel, like the tune we just played,
מבחינה קצבית, בג'אז יש, אפשר לומר, שתי דרכים, אחת זה הסווינג, מה שהם ניגנו, and the other one?
And the other one is a very straight feel as you would hear in Latin music.
והשנייה משהו יותר ישיר, משהו שדומה בקצב לטיני לדוגמה. המילה מקובה היא לא נכונה, אבל הסווינג, בגדול.
So here's a Jobim tune called Triste, and it's a Latin feel. I'm going to be playing essentially ba 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 instead of ba 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 ba. So this is a very straight feel.
אוקיי, הקטע הבא יהיה ז'ובים, מלחין ברזילאי, וחלק ממה שאולי מותר להגיד, שבסווינג המקצב הוא קצת יותר עגול, קטי, סטה, קטי, סטה, קטי, במוזיקה לטינית צק 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 צק.
I would like to get some instrumentalists up here. Did we do this thing? Do we have string players, flute players?
תביא דס.
תביא כינור. בוא תלתר קצת, בוא, תביא כינור. תביא כינור. בוא, תביא כינור. תביא כינור. לא?
So this is one really good way to start to improvise, and you really only need to know a couple of things about it, about music. Do you improvise at all? Hey, where are you going? No, come and play. Maestro.
She has a rehearsal.
Oh.
She's obliged to the concert, you know, we're a concert.
Yes.
You know, us classical musicians, we need rehearsal. That's a lack of confidence.
So you'll be working really hard. You're not going to accompany us, you're going to solo.
Well,
Wow.
So,
But also, you can come.
yeah, but I want to get him to solo a little bit.
Cool.
So this is a tune by a composer by the name of Freddie Hubbard, and it's called Little Sunflower, and I sort of see some sunflower. And you need to know 3 scales. You need to know a C major scale. You need to know a B flat major scale. And you need to know a D major scale. Good. So I'm going to tell you play these scales now, like C major, and you're going to play any note in C major. I'm going to say B flat major, and you're going to play any note in B flat, and D major, and you're going to play any note in D major. Okay? So this song is called, like I said, Little Sunflower, and we're going to play the melody once. You don't have to play. You can play the melody once so you can hear the form of the song.
You want me to walk?
No. I just want you to listen and think about the scales against the chords. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Against our D minor, we go B flat scale and we go D scale. Okay, we'll go nice and slow. All right?
C major,
B flat major, D major. Okay? Why don't you solo first? Okay?
and you tell us the key.
I'll take the scale. Here is C major. 1, 2, 3. C major. why that works, besides the players knowing the scale, is that they can feel the thing rhythmically. So what happens if you don't feel it rhythmically? So I'm going to play I'm going to play the right notes, but I'm going to play a really messed up rhythm, and it won't feel very good, right? This music's all about feeling good. So here's the same idea. I'm going to play the right scales, but the rhythm is not going to be very solid. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. You know, it just feels like, what? Right? And
do you think that's hard time? I'll punch you later.
So this thing that we're doing, this improvisational language, is a language. And it's kind of like me trying to have a language with you in Hebrew or you in Arabic, and I know a couple words, and I kind of fake my way through, and we can't really communicate. So the communication level happens on a rhythmic level, it happens on a melodic level, and it happens on a harmonic level. Any other improvisers that want to take your turn? Well, you already improvised, but you can come up and improvise. Let's play behind Chen. Let's get Chen to improvise a little bit.
No, to the rhythm.
Giant steps. No.
But you give me the scales.
I'll give you the scales.
Yeah.
Don't give him anything.
C major. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. At Yale Field. Good. So obviously the rhythm, you know, because there's rhythmic players here that understand the rhythm, even if there's strange notes or wrong notes, it'll sound not. If I play the right notes in a bad rhythm, it's 100% wrong. If I play the wrong notes in a good rhythm, it's 50% right.
אם הצלילים לא נכונים, זה לא נורא כשהקצב נכון. אבל אם הקצב לא נכון וגם הצליל לא נכון, תעברו לפסטיבל אחר. Harvey, can you spend whenever you want, you're ready, 2 minutes on the steels?
Yes.
Tell us something about it.
Yes. Why don't we play one more thing so I can release this hard-working gentleman here, and then we'll do that.
Are you going back to Haida?
No, he's playing tonight.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So he needs a break.
Make him work.
So we'll play one more song here, and it's a Dexter Gordon tune called "Fried Bananas." Now it's a great title, and it's based on an American songbook standard called "It Could Happen to You" by Jimmy Van Heusen. But anyway, what a lot of jazz composers do is they take existing chord changes and write new melodies. So that's what this one is. Yeah. I'm going to have you turn around in 2 seconds, but I just want to say one last thing about this music. Like, I've never played with this guy before. He's never played with him. He's never played with him. I've played with these guys, but never with him. So because we're listening to this same music, and we sucked you in to knowing that we were going to end the tune, so that you knew. Like, everybody wants to know when to clap. Everybody. Like, there's nothing worse than sitting in the audience going, "Are they done yet? Are they finished?" We don't. So we knew by playing this standard tag ending that people go, "Yes, I feel good about ending it," right? So it's cool. All right, so if you want to walk back there, I'll briefly talk about this instrument. So this instrument was invented about 7 years ago in Trinidad and Tobago. It's a fairly new instrument. All of the instruments are made from 55-gallon oil drums, which they take and handcraft the bottom of the barrel. They can't use the top of the barrel because there's a hole in it, so the oil barrel. So they have to pour out the oil. So they get rid of the top of the barrel and they use the bottom of the barrel. And that's a 55-gallon oil drum right there. Right? So that's the full barrel. This was like that, but because this has a higher range, they cut the what we call the skirt. Okay? It takes about 4 or 5 months to make a drum from a raw barrel into something that looks like a beautiful musical instrument. It's a fully chromatic instrument. It has as many pitches as the middle range of the piano. And it's a really great instrument to teach with and play with because it's easy to get a sound out of. You don't have to, like a violin, you have to spend a long time getting good on the instrument.